Hi guys, welcome to another video about Overbite Gaming, and today we are talking about the oft maligned Stadia. Yes, Google's online gaming service.
Do we have to?
Well, we couldn't think of anything else to talk about, so yes.
Yeah, Stadia.
So it is now out, it is amongst the wild despite shipping delays and code delays and all that kind of regular bollocks from a company that doesn't seem to manage to piss up in a brewery, but there you go. Very inconsistent reports. Some people are saying it works fine, others are having up to 4 seconds of lag, which is unplayable.
Well, even 100 milliseconds is unplayable for some people, isn't it?
Indeed. That's why we have performance equipment that we plug directly into the things that are doing the thinking for us.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest, they had a bit of technology kind of marketing bollocks, didn't they? To say, oh, we've got this new, almost like Minority Report style of gameplay where it would predict what you're going to be doing and then do it before you do it.
Yeah, which really? No one went, hang on a minute.
So, I mean, most games can't handle the AI of characters not running into doorways, yet you've managed to work out how to predict someone's movement, which is unpredictable. Whatever. I don't think that's working. I mean, so I've seen videos of people jumping the character in the game using spacebar, and then it actually happening about a second later.
Yes.
Not good. But I have heard stories of people saying it works better with the Stadia controller. And so, yeah, it's like...
Possibly, but then why publicise the fact you can use any controller with it?
Exactly. And you can't use any phone, you can use the Pixel phone.
Yeah, and you need to do all of your sort of installation and hookup and launching via the app. That's not so good.
No, and a lot of the functions aren't there that were built as part of the big hoo-ha of what it is. Oh, it's just one of those, okay, what next kind of stories, isn't it, the Stadia? It's not going to be something that you can realistically use as a gaming platform. I mean, we've talked about it many times and moaned about it many times, but you're buying access to then be able to purchase games.
Yeah.
You're buying a service and then you're buying games on top of the service rather than being a Netflix for games.
Yes, that ain't it, Chief.
Nope.
No, if you're doing the subscription model, you need to provide those games for free. Free.
Well done.
Did I say it right? I always say 3 instead of 3.
Free. But yeah, you're buying what's 120 quid for Stadia.
Yeah.
And then you're purchasing like games for 40 quid on top.
Well, up to 60.
Up to 60.
And these aren't necessarily sort of big new releases either. These
They're old.
They have like all 3 Tomb Raider games are on there.
Really?
Yep.
Haven't played those yet.
Yeah, we can review 2 of them.
I'm being sarcastic.
Well, I reviewed 1 of them and played 1 of them.
I think the problem is that a lot of other companies are doing the same sort of thing, but in a more palatable way that works and not trying to change the world.
It actually is a Netflix type streaming service.
Yeah, PlayStation Now.
Not Game Pass. I'm talking about. I think Microsoft.
Yeah, but it's kind of that, isn't it?
It's kind of that, but you have to install it, so
it's
not streaming.
Not true, like play on your mobile and play on this and that.
But you are paying a subscription and then getting access to all the free games within that service.
I mean, it's going to be, maybe it might be a situation that's early adopter, like making people pay through the nose so they can get the infrastructure ready and waiting for lots of people to join it, but nobody's going to bother with it. Who's going to purchase the Stadia system?
No, I mean, exactly, because I was like looking at it when they first announced it, and I thought, okay, if I can't think of anything else for Christmas, maybe I'll ask my dad to get me that or something, just to try it. But like, I don't want to have that, so it's 120 odd quid purchase, then pay the membership fee for at least 1 month, I guess, and then have to buy the game as well. That sort of goes beyond, above what I'm expecting to pay just to try something out and see if it works.
It's £180
yeah,
to play a game that you might play for a bit and then move on.
And then discover, oh shit, where I am, lag's fucking terrible and is unplayable.
And for a lot of games these days that require either lots of cooperation or lots of people on the system to play it, multiplayer type titles, then as a developer, why would you actually want your game to be on Stadia unless they do the Epic Game Store thing and just give you tons of cash? Because if you don't have a game base of players there, then the game's not going to work properly. If you can only find 3 other people to play with, literally, then you're not going to have a thriving community on that particular system. Whereas you could go to a PC or a console and find people that are playing it and be able to play with them.
Yeah, I mean, also the problem is with Google is they have a long history of just dropping stuff when it doesn't work.
Yeah.
They don't work to correct it. They just go, right, okay, we'll cut losses, that's gone. So you're buying the stuff, you're buying the games, and it could all disappear.
Just like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Was it Google Graveyard? There's a site to show all the bits they've got rid of.
There's a website with like just dozens of entries of stuff that there's like Google Plus. There's probably the most recent one I would have thought. Google Glass. All that stuff just gone. Didn't work, gone. See, what they need to do is they need to pivot. And they need to pivot and say, okay, you don't need to buy the games. That will do wonders for the service, even if it's still a shitty service, which there are mixed reports, as I say. There are some people that are playing it without issue. But even then, people will try it because they're not having to invest as much money. And I mean, that would certainly make it more interesting for me.
Or they know how much they're going to be spending on it.
Yeah, so you buy the unit, and then you buy your month's worth for your membership, and then you can try what you want. You can say, oh, well, these games work okay, these ones not so much, but it doesn't really matter. So,
I mean, another thing that would save it, which I don't think that it would be, or it's not being mooted at the moment, is the indie market. If you had a way to, quickly and cheaply have games on your platform, much like the PS4 did, and obviously Steam has a lot of indie games coming out on it, but certainly for like the PS4, they went heavily into bringing indie games onto their market, and it was a great boon for people doing indie titles and sort of not the AAA kind of thing. But with Stadia, if they actually had a group of indie developers, I mean, they're Google, for fuck's sake, all they've got to do is buy a few studios to produce a number of indie games, ready for launch, that people could go, oh, well, there's an exclusive there that these particular developers are trialing their particular games on Stadia. Why not? I mean, Google buying you probably shut you down anyway, so take the cash and run.
Yeah, I think the problem is they want their cake and they want to eat it as well. I mean, at the moment,
they're arrogant.
It's a questionable way of playing games that has a storefront with like 20 odd games in it.
Old games.
Old games. There are some newer ones on there. I think RDR2's on there, so that's relatively new release. It just came out on Steam yesterday, in fact.
True, but who would be playing on Stadia?
People that bought Stadia and are trying to like quantify their purchase.
I mean, the performance on PC is shit enough. I've heard. So glitching and stuttering and stuff. So if you're going to get that on a already laggy system, that must be a nightmare.
Well, you got to accept those bugs. I mean, we didn't have to wait like 4 years for the PC version to come out this time. It came out quite quickly.
Yeah, they probably had it in mind. They just wanted the exclusive on the PS4 for a bit.
It's an Xbox as well.
Oh, sorry, on the console side, there would have been a port over, but it wouldn't have been an immediate thing. Yeah, I mean, Stadia for me is something that you kind of hear the stories and you think, I don't care. I don't care because it's not going to be changing the world. If it was suddenly like we could play games anywhere we like at the same rate, that would be a complete quantum shift into what games have been in the past and all the kit you need to be able to play a game. Even at the console level, you still need a console box to interact with that game. All the information you have is on disk or it's in your hard drive, but the box is what makes it happen. If we move away from that and it's just a streaming service, I'm fine with that, but treat it like a streaming service and fix the fact that you need to have a huge internet bill at the end of it. Because all of that information going up and down, for us in the UK, we're quite lucky to be able to have no monopolies on fibre optic broadband and really fast connections. I mean, I'm running a 75 meg line, and you're running more than that, I think, aren't you?
250.
Yeah, and in the States, you'd be lucky if you get like 5 or 10.
Well,
I don't know what the situation is, but you are locked into one of two companies, I think, in the States.
Yeah, I think the main point is the price point, the asking price for what you're getting. I mean, it's one thing to say, okay, it's a relatively untested technology. Give it a try. You might be surprised by it. But no one's going to do that if they then have to pay for the games
that they already probably have.
Yeah.
And can't port them over. So that's that as well.
Especially when Google have this history of just cutting shit off at the roots, and then you've spent all this money on games for your Stadia and you can't play them anymore.
The infrastructure isn't there for it. You think about it. Internet speeds is a problem for people in certain areas. If you're going to be using it on your mobile suddenly, and walk around the house or walk down the street playing on your Stadia, then your data plan on your mobile phone isn't always unlimited.
Yeah,
so
you would need to be unlimited and probably 5G as well.
Who knows? We haven't tried it, so we can't really talk about that end of it.
But then again, you do need a Google phone.
And only a Pixel at the moment. You can't use any Android phone, which is their own fucking proprietary system. I mean, it's just short-sighted, rushed out the door, and not ready for the public. But they're trying to tell you that it's the best thing since sliced bread.
Apparently, the controllers are pretty well put together. I watched Gamers Nexus try and tear one down. Oh my god, it was a nightmare. They used like Dremels on it and everything. Yeah,
and also most people, because they couldn't actually use it on day one, there's pictures of people putting their controllers against doors with door stops because it's the only thing it's useful for. It's just a bit of a travesty that this might have been a chance for something great, but it hasn't even been honest with what it's actually selling you.
Well, they needed to implement it to tempt people to try it. I think that's the big thing. Instead of like looking at it as a way to make money, they needed to get people invested in that technology and then start monetizing it. But because people were already leery about the technology, they're like, they'll never be able to stream 4K, fuck off. Things like that. Then to have this price barrier as well, it's just killing interest.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect to hear or see anything of Stadia in the next 6 to 12 months. Or people going, oh, it's really good now.
Unless they pivot hard, I think that's probably going to be the case.
Yeah, they need to really rethink how they're selling it, what it does, what it's capable of, and being honest. Because over time, that never washes well if you're just consistently telling lies about your particular product. Because people will just know about it. Everyone reviewing a particular product, you might get a few lackeys that will follow in line to get free stuff. But most of the time, if you're doing a review, be careful who you're listening to, making sure that they've got a bit of integrity about them. And at the end of the day, that's all we can go on, because we're not fucking buying a Stadia.
Hell knows.
I mean, it's the kind of thing that's like, oh, I've got a spare 130 quid, let's see what it's like. No.
And then, I need to buy a game as well.
Well, I'll tell you what, here's something, because we don't get a lot of engagement on our videos, right?
Okay. So
if we get 100 likes, I will buy a Stadia.
Yeah, if we get 100 likes, he will buy a Stadia.
There you go. That's complete clickbaity, like the video, make me do something. But if this video gets over 100 likes, that's a very low target.
Yeah, but there aren't going to be 100 people that even see this video.
I'll buy a Stadia and I will give it a test run and I'll do a review of it.
He's just saying it because you won't have to get one.
I know. That's not dislikes.
I'm going to be creating so many YouTube accounts tonight.
100 likes, and I will buy a Stadia for £129.99.
Yeah, I think I watched they've just done like a new ad for it that popped up on one of my YouTube videos that I was watching, and it's got people going, oh yeah, it works perfect, and I'm just like, for you, that's the problem. It's not consistent across the board.
No, you buy a PS4, person next door's PS4 works exactly the same as yours.
Yeah, whereas we're having people that are having terrible trouble with lag, and we'll have people that aren't having trouble with lag. It just doesn't seem to be any quantifying factor as to why these people are having trouble and these ones aren't.
The only good part of the whole idea is the PC upgrade problem.
Yeah.
If it was working and newer type of games came out that needed more hardware oomph behind them, then that's apparently not being done at your end. So your access to it would be irrelevant. If you're showing it on a screen and having a controller, the performance of the graphics being shown to you is only limited by what colors you can put on a screen and how quickly it refreshes.
Yeah, but even then, it's not like if you had a beast PC that could run 4K 60 plus.
Hmm.
Stadia's not doing that.
No, what I'm saying is, if it worked, you wouldn't have to worry about the upgrade problem.
No, what I'm saying is outside of the lag, it's not pushing that level of detail. It's not like, oh, I'm playing Rise of the Tomb Raider on ultra high with 4K at 60. You're not.
Mm.
Even lag outside the thing, because it scales performance.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're getting is probably like 1080 30 maybe.
Mm. So it's all a bit shit, really. That's kind of what you need to take away from this. And like the video, so if 100 likes actually arrive on this video, I will buy a Stadia.
I'm going to start campaigning for that.
Let's do it. Anyway, guys, that's our view of Stadia. Leave your comments down below what you think of the whole setup, because let's be honest, it'd be an echo chamber of it's shit.
Well, one of the things that did make me laugh was when they announced like the Founders Edition, where it comes with Destiny 2. You're like, oh, okay. And then Destiny 2 goes through to play, and you're like,
But the new stuff isn't free.
New stuff isn't, no.
So maybe you got that bit for free.
Well, unlikely you'll probably have to buy that. I mean, you don't
probably.
even get like expansions on like Game Pass or anything.
We don't know for a fact, so that's a caveat.
Mm.
We don't know that. Anyway, guys, we have videos out every Wednesday and Saturday. Please like and subscribe to the video, all that good stuff. Helps us out a great deal.
And don't forget to smash that like button. Fucking smash that like button. All of you. Find your friends, your mum, your dad, your toilet, I don't care. Get all YouTube accounts, smash that like button, and let us know down below if you've tried the Stadia and how it worked for you.
There's nobody watching our video that's done that.
No, statistically it's very unlikely, I'll give you that.
Yeah. So guys, thanks for watching. Take care of yourselves.
Take it easy, guys.
Bye.